Well, hello, EKN Nation. Welcome to a new edition of the EKN OutLap. It is our preview podcast that we use to kind of lay the groundwork for an upcoming EKN Trackside event. The one we're talking about is the opening round of the 2023 United States Pro Kart Series. The Southern Grand Prix coming up this weekend, March 10th to 12th at the Orlando Kart Center in Orlando, Florida. It is episode number 53, March the 8th, 2023. My name is Rob Howden, and I'll be joined, of course, by David Cole, who will be trackside throughout the weekend. This edition of the OutLap is presented by Comet Kart Sales. History, success, family. These are three words that describe Comet Kart Sales, one of the longest tenured karting businesses in the United States. The family-owned operation is located just outside Indianapolis and has provided karts, parts, and services for thousands of racers in their near 6 decades of business. Their online store features everything you need, and they are continually adding new parts to their product line. Make sure you head to cometkartsales.com or call them at 317-462-3413 to be part of the Comet Kart Sales family today. All right, David Cole, let's get into this thing. Southern Grand Prix, the opening round of the United States Pro Kart Series, a massive season last year. Big numbers to start the season, obviously over 300 entries. We get things underway, and you're super happy. One round, one main event on the weekend of a 5-round championship. All told, so much excitement through the first couple, at least 2.5 months or 2 months of the season about this USPKS opener.
That's the topic I was going to hit on, because you said the opening round, because that's exactly what it is. We just talked about that in our debrief on Challenge of the Americas yesterday when we closed it out, talking about the USPKS opening up this weekend. Yeah, a 1-round format. That's going to be the biggest, I think, the focus on the weekend. We're going to 5 weekends and only 5 rounds of racing. So that is really the kind of the going into the season, what to expect, because this is something brand new for the series. It's going to be a count best 4 out of 5. So again, still having that drop. But just one main event per weekend as the United States Pro Kart Series kicks off its 11th season.
Yeah, you've been asking for it for many years from everybody. And I know that there's obviously two thought groups, right? It's the 1 round of racing. So there's one winner at the end of the weekend. And then it's the 2 rounds of racing, because if you have a bad round on Saturday, you're able to come back and kind of see if you can't recover the weekend on a Sunday. That's the feel for it, obviously. But as you mentioned in the debrief that we did, and you can probably bring it up here as well, one of the cool factors is it's going to take a bit of pressure off everybody on Saturday night.
Well, I mean, pressure, define pressure, because we're going to have LCQs,
Yeah, but I really meant you guys aren't going to be there until still racing and doing podiums and everything.
Pressure in terms of time schedule. That's where the pressure is relieved, because obviously we're going to have 3 rounds of heat races going on Saturday, following a warm up. So you'll still have 4 sessions on the day for Saturday, but we won't have the podiums at the end of the day. Yeah. We're not going to have to go through sitting around waiting for penalties and tech to be completed, and protests, et cetera, et cetera. So all the things that you typically get on a Saturday night are all gone. They're all gone. So once that final checker flag waves, officials will have to obviously finish up their protest situations, but tech will go through what they do. But for the competitors, if you're done, you're done.
That's it.
There's no, you can get to dinner, you do whatever you need to do, prep for the main events on Sunday. Again, it makes it a less stressful in terms of evening activities for those involved and those actually behind the scenes working and providing this event.
Again, the opening round of the USPKS this coming weekend at the Southern Grand Prix. David, 11th season of the program, and it looks pretty good. If you're looking at the forecast, it looks like it's going to be a warm weekend.
Yeah, it looks like 80s all weekend long. It lows into the 60s, I believe. So a typical Florida weekend. I'm not going to say the R word because it's not in the forecast, so I'm not even going to mention it.
I wouldn't either. Why would you bother? The Orlando Kart Center is essentially going to be the focus of national racing for the next month, with USPKS, Florida Winter Tour wrapping up, and then, of course, the SuperKarts USA Pro Tour starting with the Winter Nationals. That event being moved from NOLA over to Orlando. So everybody's essentially locked and loaded there, hotel rooms for the entire month kind of a thing. Dave, let's talk about the racetrack itself, as we always do in the event notes. 0.8 of a mile, going to run in the clockwise direction.
Yeah, constructed in 2009, it's hosted a number of different events, Florida Winter Tour and road tax races and other events, 24-hour racing, the Simcraft 24 that they've done a couple of years ago. This will be the second visit for the United States Pro Kart Series, and obviously last year was a focus on getting over 300 entries into the facility. This year, they actually have a new paved paddock, so that'll be something to see. There was just paved roads that you would use to go up and down, and it was just basically rock that you were on top of. So we'll see how the paddock feels with that. And again, fitting everybody in. Everybody's limited on space and can do what they do. They have RV section just outside the paddock in a separate area, and of course, getting everybody to park there with all the rental cars and vehicles to get to the racetrack. That's always going to be the fun part when you go to a facility, not like Newcastle where you have cornfield on top of cornfield to be able to park in. So
exactly.
So that's the exciting part. Again, an 0.8 mile circuit in the clockwise direction. A lot of 180s. I mean, that's the kind of the focus of that racetrack. You know, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different 180-degree corners that really kind of dictate how a race unfolds, and certain, obviously, passing opportunities in those spots and other areas of the racetrack as well.
You mentioned the fact that there's going to be 3 heats on Saturday. Why don't you give us a full rundown through the schedule Thursday on?
Yeah, Thursday is the optional practice, again, run by the racetrack itself. I believe they're actually practicing today as well, too. I'm not sure. Maybe just setup day here today. Then we get into Friday with the official practice day, 4 rounds for each category. And then we'll have our qualifying sessions at the end of the day. So we'll know at the end of Friday, a true happy hour session, as we will know who is the top qualifier for each of the 8 categories. Saturday, we'll get into morning warm-up and go right into racing with 3 rounds of heat races. All heat races will be 12 laps, so that's going to have 36 laps of racing to decide who it will be where come main event time on Sunday. But for the KA100 senior and KA100 junior categories, we'll also have a last chance qualifier to decide who actually gets to be part of the 46 driver field in those categories. They'll take the top 40 in heat points, move them right into the final, and then they'll take the top 6 for the last chance qualifier, which will be 10 laps each. So that will decide the final grid positions for those 2 categories. And our main events will be 26 laps long, with 22 laps for both cadet divisions.
Yeah, should be some pretty interesting racing on Sunday morning. Look forward to seeing how, of course, those LCQs transferring people through. Obviously, those 2 classes that are large enough, KA100 Senior and KA100 Junior. We'll look at those numbers in the By the Numbers segment. We get back after our first break on this edition of the EKN OutLap.
If you want to challenge yourself against the best drivers in the sport, put the United States Pro Kart Series on your calendar. Established in 2013, the USPKS is entering its 11th season following record participation numbers. The 2023 season, presented by MG Tires and Miami USA East, is slated to hit 5 major tracks over 5 weekends to decide the champions in the now 8 categories. The season opens at the Orlando Kart Center on March 10th through the 12th, with the USPKS program visiting the Orlando, Florida facility for the 2nd straight year. 2 new facilities will welcome USPKS for the first time in 2023. Round 2 takes place at the crown jewel of Texas karting, Speed Sports Racing Park, on April 28th through the 30th. The track is located just north of Houston. The other new location is the repaved and extended Motorsports Country Club of Cincinnati in Batavia, Ohio, and the date is set for the August 25th through the 27th weekend. Newcastle Motorsports Park sits between those 2 new tracks on the schedule, hosting Round 3 on June 23rd through the 25th. The USPKS 2023 finale is confirmed for the unofficial series home at the GoPro Motorplex in Mooresville, North Carolina on October 5th through the 7th weekend. The event will include the series year-end awards ceremony on October 8th. There's a reason this series is logging record numbers. Come find out for yourself. Head to uspks.com for more information. Move up to karting. Move up to the USPKS.
It's a multi-time world champion, and it's a SuperKarts USA Super Nationals winner. It is Sodi Kart. And starting in 2023, the Sodi brand has found a new home here in the U.S. Sodi Racing USA is the new exclusive importer of the Sodi Kart chassis line under the karting distribution banner, led by industry veteran Terry Germanovich. The French manufacturer Sodi Kart is a leader within the karting industry, offering a wide range of products and services. The Sodi Racing chassis line offers product in classes from Mini to KZ, all based on years of development and championship seasons around the world. Sodi Racing USA has already begun establishing its dealer network, working with the Karting Collective on the West Coast and recently signing PK Sport to serve as a dealer and the official race team on the East Coast. Visit Sodi-Racing-USA.com to learn more about the Sodi Kart chassis line or call 954-634-5111 to become part of the Sodi Racing USA network today. Sodi Kart, the world leader in the karting industry. Established in 1999, PSL Karting has become a powerhouse within the karting industry for North America and around the world. PSL Karting is your complete source for all Burrell Art products as the North American importer, providing this top quality product through both their expansive dealer network or through the PSLkarting.com online store. Whatever you need is available 24/7 online, including safety gear, parts, components, and full karting packages. All three brands, Burrell Art, Ricardo Kart, and Charles Leclerc Karts, are in stock and ready to hit the track. Grab your winning chassis for any category by visiting PSLkarting.com to find your nearest dealer. PSL Karting is always looking for interest in new dealers and teams to help create new business relationships. Drivers looking to take their talents to the next level can join the Burrell Art North America race team, competing at all the major U.S. and Canadian events this season. When you're ready to win, go with PSL Karting. Welcome back to the EKN OutLap. Rob Howden alongside David Cole as we have a look, the preview for the USPKS opener at the Orlando Kart Center, the Southern Grand Prix. Kind of set things up with the event notes to begin. We'll jump into by the numbers here now, David. 323 entries in the opening round last year in 2022. They don't quite get to the 300 mark on the during pre-registration, but we've seen a lot of walk-ups throughout the other events, other series to start the year. So I would say at 296 going in, they're definitely going to top 300. Do they get to 223, 225? I don't know, but at the very least, over 300 still puts them in elite territory.
Yeah, 323 was the highest ever for the series last year at Orlando, and it was followed up at GoPro the following event at 308. So I think we have an opportunity to at least get the second highest ever attended United States Pro Kart Series event. But part of that is limited due to Mini Swift being limited to just 46 drivers. They capped it off at 46 due to adding, obviously, the Pro Shifter category for this year. So not allowing another group or class to be able to hold two different sessions throughout the weekend. So that's kind of the focus on. That's kind of limited the totals there, because last year we had 10 more 56 minis last year. So you're going to lose 10 there if they're not allowed to be able to expand that category. So that's part of the ordeal, but you gain them in the new Pro Shifter category, because right now the new class for 2023 is at 15 drivers right now.
Yeah, almost 110 drivers in K100 and K100 senior and junior combined, 55 in senior, 54 in junior, the KA100 master category. Love to see this. Last year was in the X30 category. This year they go to masters at with KA100. It goes to 25, so a good field of drivers in the masters class. David mentioned that Mini Swift selling out at 46. They had 56 last year. Micro Swift, we see it go 10 up, 10 down every year. 30 drivers in the Micro Swift category. A number of those drivers likely moving on to Mini. The X30 Pro class from 57 down to 41, and X30 Junior 44 down to 30. Dave, people you're talking to, is that again part of the feel? People getting away from the X30 Pro a little? I mean, the X30 a little bit, even though we have 41 and 30, or is it just a lot of guys maybe jumping out of the mini class going straight into junior instead in the KA100?
Yeah, KA100 is part of it.
Yeah.
I think if we look at the rookie totals, you're seeing more in KA100 Junior than you are in the X30 Junior category. So that's part of it. Again, some of the kids moving up and moving on to other things. And also in the senior category, we got a number of senior drivers that are no longer in the sport of karting as well, too. So that there's the factor of that. Yeah, I think we had a number of walk-ups in the pro category last year, if I recall correctly. So I knew we were going to be over that 40 mark.
It's the prima donnas waiting, right?
Yeah, part of it. Yeah. Plus, there's a lot of drivers in Florida who don't enter until they get to the racetrack. So
that's very true. Yeah.
That's part of it. So yeah, I would expect to see walk-ups in X30 Pro. I think a little bit, maybe a couple more in there. But I think the X30 Junior, the junior categories kind of stayed at that 30 mark throughout much of last year. We look at USPKS towards the end of the year. I think they were only at maybe 25.
Okay.
So yeah, just a lot of number of different factors. Again, even junior drivers moving up into cars as well too. So that has a factor on it as well. One thing I did forget to mention though about the heat races is those two categories, KA100 Junior and KA100 Senior. They'll be doing heat flights. So again, they'll have A versus B and C versus D. So they're not going to have all karts on track for one heat race. So they'll split them up because they're over the 46 mark. And so those heat races will be very crucial. Again, be about surviving first and then gaining as many points as possible. I'm not sure if they're doing less points golf style or more points. So we'll have more updates on that. But you definitely want to finish in the top 5 or top 10 to be able to get that transfer and not have to worry about LCQ.
Yeah, and one final note, I'm talking about the strengths of X30 when there's 41 drivers, right? It's still,
true.
It's still 41 drivers as opposed to 57 last year. So let's maybe I'll temper my my comments a little bit because it's still 41 drivers. That's a full field
I'm not worried about it. Again, the series has averaged over 30 X30 Pro drivers throughout its 11 seasons. I think it had maybe a stretch there where it was below 30 for probably 4 or 5 events. But aside from that, it's always been above 30. And that's one thing in the article I'm trying to publish today. We're trying to get it finished up about a one-on-one with Mark Coates of the United States Pro Kart Series is does money purse factor into entry numbers? And so it's a tough gauge to measure because you have a lot of competitors who are just there to compete against the best. But you do have those that are going around and trying to chase money. So it's a good mixture. So
okay.
But for that X30 Pro category, it's always been above that 30 mark for a majority of the 11 seasons.
All right, folks, let's go to our second break in the show here right now. When we get back, it's time to dive into 3 of our categories. We'll have a look through the pre-entries. We'll talk about the winners from last year, maybe some of the notes as well. Kind of go up and down through the grid too. So stay tuned. When we get back, we'll look at X30 Pro, KA100 Senior, and Pro Shifter. Top-level production with a focus on a single form of motorsport, karting. This is MG Tires. MG Tires USA, underneath the Vantage Karting Group banner, is the official distributor of the MG Tires brand for the United States. MG Tires are the official spec tire in the US Pro Kart Series, Route 66 Sprint Series, Sunshine State Karting Challenge, and countless clubs across the country. No matter your compound preference, MG Tires USA has you covered. Whether it's the medium SH Red or the soft SM Yellow that you find at many karting events in the US, or the super soft green SS and the intermediate white IZ optional compounds, MG Tires USA has your winning set of rubber in stock. Indoor and outdoor rental facilities can now trust MG Tires with their solution to long-lasting and the best performance with 3 different compounds available through the RL line. For more info about MG Tires USA and its extensive list of dealers near you, check out their website at mgtiresusa.com. MG Tires, for the drivers. Ready to step up your game? Joining the Rawlison Performance Group is the obvious choice to take your racing to the next level. Industry-leading driver development is provided by our staff of multi-time national champions, Super Nationals winners, and Team USA members. And at the same time, RPG continues to be a national-level powerhouse race team. Our goal is to help you raise your game and win races. We work with all age groups and are focused on developing those cadet and junior drivers who are ready to take the next step in their racing program. Rawlison Performance Group has set a new standard with our in-house engine program, AVP Engines, headed by Alex Vincent. AVP has become the benchmark in IAME competition. We have the largest OTK inventory that follows our race team, providing trackside parts at all the major events in North America. RPG also offers multilingual support with French, Spanish, and Portuguese-speaking staff. If you want to fight for championships or want to improve your skills and your chances to win, the answer is to call RPG at 503-260-4514. The Rawlison Performance Group. We race to win.
Wins in the sport's biggest races and championships in national and regional series all over the country, they're all on Nitro Kart's growing resume. Nitro Kart continues to make its statement as the best, fastest, and winningest cadet chassis on the American market. In 2021, Nitro Kart won the 3 biggest crowns in America in the Micro Swift division, with Mateo Rosu in the SCUSA Pro Tour and both the Super Nationals and the USPKS titles with Keelan Harvick. At the Super Nats alone, 3 of the top 5 drivers on the podium got there on a Nitro Kart. The results are clear. If you want to win in cadet, get a Nitro Kart and join our team. At Nitro Kart, we're all about driver development. Nick Tucker and the Nitro Crew's racing resumes are extensive, and their passion for helping our kids learn is unparalleled. Racing is about consistent learning, and that's what we're all about here at Nitro Kart. Never wanting to quit, we've continued to extend the reach of our driver development program. In addition to expanding into the junior and senior karting categories, we've also launched Nitro Motorsports, which will field 2 cars this season in the Trans Am by Pirelli series, one being piloted by karting champion Brent Cruz. Not only can we develop your young driver, but we can also provide the platform if a move to cars is in your plan. And our second seat is available. If you're serious about your driver's career, contact us today.
Welcome back to the EKN OutLap, our 53rd episode of the OutLap Preview Podcast. We're talking about the opening round of the USPKS, which will take place this coming weekend at the Orlando Kart Center, the Southern Grand Prix. My name is Rob Howden. David Cole joining me as he will be trackside throughout the weekend. Dave, let's start with X30 Pro. We kind of wrap things up before the commercial break, talking about the Pro category. 41 drivers in total. Ryan Norberg notching another big championship last year on the strength of 5 wins for him as well. Let's talk a little bit some of the notes maybe that makes things interesting coming into this weekend.
Yeah, the standout is new drivers under the Trinity Karting Group tent. Among those, a 2-time winner last year, Hayden Jones. He's moving over to Kart Republic and the TKG operation, along with bringing rookie Caleb Gaffera over from both racing under the Rawlison Performance Group tent last year, now moving both over to Trinity for the 2023 season at the United States Pro Kart Series. So that's going to be one to watch. Again, we saw Thomas Naveau perform really well under the TKG tent for the last couple of years since moving away from PSL and Burrell Art.
Yep.
And so that's going to be a duo that'll help kind of lead the way for Kart Republic and TKG this season.
A little more stuff happening too in the offseason quite a bit. One of the ones we just got that kind of just dropped was the fact that Alessandro Tullio, who has been kind of a fixture at Parolin USA, moving over to Prime Power Team with Trevor Wickens as well. I thought that was kind of a big move to see Tullio move over onto the Burrell product.
Yeah, very interesting move. Something that was rumored last year was that Alessandro was going to go somewhere, but he focused on the car stuff and continued to work with Paralin USA. Raced with Motez Sport at the SCUSA Winter Series, was a top 5 contender all throughout those 2 weekends. And now, prior to USPKS weekend, making that jump over to Prime Power Team. So essentially a Burrell Art dealer and race team, but still going to be working with PSL Karting and Burrell Art, and also racing both in the USA and Canada. So that's a unique opportunity for the Florida driver.
What do you think about Arias Dukmejian's announcement that they'd be over here as well?
Yeah, it's interesting to see that. He's going to be kind of the third bullet in the TKG Kart Republic banner. Coming back, he was a number 1 in the EKN driver rankings a couple years ago. I believe it was 2020, I think it was the COVID season, that him and Luca Mars were the top drivers that season. And so excited to see him. We have not seen him in a kart in quite some time. I think maybe the beginning of last year, maybe a SCUSA Winter Series event. If not, it was the end of 2021.
So obviously, veteran drivers we expect to be up front, as we know. Ryan Norberg, defending champion, will be there. It's been interesting for me over the SCUSA Winter Series races to kind of see the development throughout the weekends for Mateus Morgado and Diego Ramos running for PSL Karting, all those Burrell Arts. They haven't come out of the gate super strong, but they've kind of been able to dial themselves into the point where they were kind of into the discussion by the end of Sunday. Obviously, going to want to get out of the gate stronger here. And with so many races, David, at OKC over this next month, this is going to be interesting, right? They're obviously going to be testing like crazy, but you got to hope that as you continue to get better, everybody's going to get tighter and tighter by the time we get to the SCUSA race at the end of the month.
The hope is to get tighter. The unfortunate part is Ryan Norberg calls the Orlando Kart Center home.
That's true.
It's a tough battle. It's a tough uphill battle for all the competitors that are in the field. Having Ryan Norberg, who goes to every racetrack and can be fast at every racetrack, and then now you're at his home racetrack. So I think that's the difficult part of it. So that's going to be the measuring stick. I mean, obviously Norberg's going to set the bar, and everybody's going to have to be there or be close to it. We saw people close throughout last year at the opener in 2022, but come race time in the main event, like he would just be a little bit more consistent than everybody else was. So I think, kind of like what we talked about yesterday in our debrief is, for what the main events are 26 laps. So you got to be good for 26 laps, and that's going to be kind of the challenge, I think, especially in this category. Yeah, you got to be good. A lot of drivers will either set up for the early part and then just hang on for the end. Well, 26 laps is a lot of circuits.
It is.
So you're going to have to be good consistently across the board. And so that's going to be interesting to see. A lot of guys, they'll bypass being good early and set for that long run and try and set those fast laps towards the end of the race. So it'll be about hanging on and keeping up front and trying not to out battle yourself and take yourself out of competition or contention.
We've mentioned a lot of the big guns, guys that have won races, at the national level, championships, whatever it may be. You mentioned Caleb Gaffera, of course, one of the, I think, most exciting young rookies coming into the program, coming into the senior category here in 2023. We haven't seen Caleb yet. We're kind of waiting on the sidelines. He ended up with the Trinity Karting Group, as you had mentioned. But David, there's a lot of other pretty talented rookies coming up. Let's have a look at the rookie crop that we're going to see in the X30 Pro category.
Well, we've already seen Aiden Ingrata, competing at the SCUSA Winter Series and other events. So he's kind of gotten his rookie stripes pretty much in and going forward. Elio Meza has been racing at the Florida Winter Tour, picking up a couple wins over there. So it'll be exciting to see him, as he's the former the last year's K100 junior champion at the USPKS program. So he'll actually be doing double duty, I believe, from looking at the entry list. Along with Cooper Shipman, another rookie in the Iron Rock Motorsports camp. So those two will be moving up together. Jacob Kular racing under the PK Sports tent on the Sodi kart. So we'll get to see a lot more Sodi karts this weekend now with that collaboration with PK Sports. And also Brandon Carr, the British driver, coming over Again, one of the top junior drivers last year, now making that transition into senior. He's already done senior OK racing and IAME stuff across the seas. So coming back over to compete in the USA.
Let's move to the KA 100 senior category. 55 pre-entries rolling in. Alex Stanfield, of course, the champion last year, but we won't see Stanfield, I don't think, this weekend. He's actually, I believe, was running a Spec Miata last weekend at an SCCA event. Winners last year, Brandon Lemke, Jeremy Fletcher, Race Liberante, Christian Miles, and Stanfield as well. So, David, how's it look for drivers coming back this year in that category?
Yeah, the only two returning winners that we have in this category from last year, Brandon Lemke, Christian Miles. So one a rookie and one a seasoned veteran, as Brandon Lemke has become, former champion as well too. So that was the story last year at Orlando, was the Brandon Lemke Race Liberante battle.
Yeah, that's right.
And Lemke actually driving one-handed in the Sunday main event, holding onto his battery so it wouldn't fly off the race cart. So that was an interesting weekend. This category was an interesting weekend all weekend. It was one that was plagued with a lot of contact, a lot of bad driving. So hopefully, even though we're at the 55 driver mark, we're not going to see that. We're going to see more respectful driving, drivers, racing hard, but racing clean. So that's hopefully will be the focus this weekend in this category, which, have a number of drivers coming back. You look at Connor Ferris. He's probably one driver that's going to be in the battle. Finnegan Bailiff. He's been in the hunt. Wes Dushek. He's been the Ralston Performance Group driver. He's been setting the bar early this season in 100cc competition. Colin Lloyd's another one. Who else was SCUSA Winter Series?
Yeah, Aiden Levy and Colin Lloyd, right?
Yep.
Two drivers really impressive as well. Peyton Phillips was pretty strong. That Texan, we saw Noah Rosser, the Florida driver, kind of step up into the hunt a little bit. You got to bring up Holtz and Terlecki, right, on a regular basis. Those guys are always going to be in the fight when it comes to KA 100, I would think.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the Franklin Motorsports and Holtz driver development program there. So those guys will be in the mix, and they certainly were last year. I recall them being up towards the front. Emerson Reed on the Merlin. He's been he's been known to throw in a couple fast laps here and there and be. How
about Braden Eves?
That's an interesting. Yeah, last weekend he was tuning for Austin Olds at the Challenge of the Americas weekend. So, interesting to see Braden Eves not in X30, but in the K100 senior category. So,
yeah, for MPG Motorsports on the Kart Republic.
Yeah, so I was expecting, because I knew he was racing. I thought it was going to be in the X30 category, but maybe he's pulling the Lemke. He's like, you know what, the 100cc thing's my thing now. And that's a category he and Lemke went back and forth a lot when they ran 100, both as juniors and as senior drivers.
Yep. I think that'll be fun to watch for sure. Another driver we've seen kind of doing some 4-cycle racing as well and can wheel a KA 100 would be James Overbeck as well with Mike Doty Racing. I expect to see him kind of run up front too.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, he's one to watch. Also, Josh Campbell coming off a podium finish. Challenge of the Americas this past weekend in the senior 100cc. Yeah. So coming off a state championship with basketball, podium on Saturday and a top 5 finish on Sunday. So we'll see what he can do making the trek from Arizona to Florida.
David, you mentioned the two Iron Rock Motorsports drivers, Elio Mesa and Cooper Shippen. They're back. They're going to do double duty. They're going to run KA 100 senior as well. And then Austin Jers was in the fight as well throughout the SCUSA Winter Series. A little precursor potentially for him to be in the fight, back with Merlin, back with Franklin Motorsports. So we could see Jers, I think, up in the middle of the scrap too.
Yeah, a lot of Franklin Motorsports drivers in this category. So good to see the Merlin brand back up there. They'll have Lemke to be able to feed off of, and so he was obviously quick last year, picking up the victory on the Saturday round, and then just as fast on Sunday with despite the contact and nearly losing the battery. So Yeah, it'd be good to see, again, a lot of mixture, a lot of different brands, a lot of different race teams, a lot of drivers from all over the country racing in this category.
So for 10 years, this program's essentially been single speed, David. They add the Pro Shifter Gearbox category for 2023, 15 entries coming in. And just off the top of the head, you look at the big dogs, right? You look at Marian Kremers, a former world champion. You got Danny Formal, multi-time Superkarts USA Super Nationals winner. AJ Myers, multi-time Pro Tour champion. Jordan Musser is running, even though he's a Masters driver, he's running as well. But just Formal, Kremers, and Myers. I'd watch a race with the three of those dudes in it. That's it.
Yeah, you throw in Hunter Pickett, and you got drivers in the top 10 of the EKN Shifter Kart driver rankings already in this field. So that's going to be a stellar battle up front. Yeah, you can see Musser. He could be right there. He certainly has the pace, even though he's a bit older than some of these guys. But a 5-time SCUSA Pro Tour champion nonetheless. So that'll be good. And we got, some other drivers trying to make a name for themselves. Josh Conker, who won at the Florida Winter Tour. Indeed. So the Canadian coming down and being part of the debut field that'll be here at this weekend. But you also have a couple of Masters drivers that are going to probably try and use Musser as kind of the measuring stick. You got Farhad Bagati, I can never say his name.
Farshad
Bagari on the TB Kart. Victor Jimenez as well too. So a couple of Masters drivers in the field. So, maybe down the road at a couple of other events, we'll see some more Masters drivers, just getting out there and making laps and trying to see where they measure up against the young bucks in the Pro Shifter field.
Good to see Colin Daly back out as well, right? For DRT Racing on the DR kart. We watched him do a bunch of racing, and Gavin Bailiff has had some success back when we had the Pro Shifter 2 category running with Trinity Karting Group on the Kart Republic. So I think there's a bunch of drivers. There's 15 in total. We got a handful of the big dogs in the sport. 6 drivers. I think you said 6, David, in the top 10, or was it 5?
3.
In the top 10. What's that?
We
only
got
3?
Kremers, Myers, and Pickett
are the only 3 drivers.
The only 3 drivers from our top 10 in the EKN Shifter Kart driver rankings. And yeah, Daly's actually doing double duty. He's running X30 Pro and Pro Shifter. So he'll have the Jamaican. We haven't seen him in a while.
No.
But the Jamaican will have a busy weekend. I'm sure Scott Grenier is going to be there turning the spinners for him.
All right, folks, when we get back after this break, we'll jump into the junior categories. We'll go X30 Junior, KA100 Junior, and we'll add in KA100 Master as well. Stay tuned. More to come on this edition of the OutLap. For over 20 years, Greg Bell has been building race-winning power for kart racers. One need only look at his team, Leading Edge Motorsports. He's always built engines for his team, and the results have been wins at the biggest races in America, the SCUSA Super Nationals and the Rock Vegas events. The name on this program, Mega Power. This year alone, Bell and Danny Formal teamed up to sweep the Rock Shifter class on the Florida Winter Tour, all on a Mega Power engine. If you want to win shifter kart races, it's time to put Mega Power on your kart. Mega Power specializes in gearbox engines, such as the TMKZ, Rock Shifter, and IME Shifter, but with almost 3 decades of engine building experience, Bell develops winning motors for X30 and Mini Swift and everything in between. The combination of Greg Bell's engine building skills and his chassis tuning knowledge is a potent mixture. Greg's helped catapult many drivers to wins over the years, including Mercedes F1 star George Russell, who won the Supernats 14 in 2011 with Leading Edge Motorsports. Increase your odds of winning at this year's Rock Vegas or Super National events or throughout 2023 by calling Greg Bell today at 209-747-2613 to put Mega Power in your corner. CRG is one of the most iconic brands in karting, and we're primed and ready for the 2022 season with new material and a never-ending focus on winning. CRG Nordam is the North American distributor for all CRG products. Based outside of Houston, Texas, CRG Nordam supports CRG dealers across the continent, reaching every corner of North America. The CRG KT5 is our new chassis for tag and shifter racing, and it's been designed specifically for the US market. The KT5 features 30mm construction with a 32mm front loop to increase front grip. CRG's new VEN 13 brake system is cutting-edge technology with a master cylinder that allows for pressure regulation within the system. Drivers can customize brake pressure to their own requirements to improve feel and to avoid brake lockup. The Kart is finished with new KG 507, 508 bodywork that has refined aerodynamics and reduced weight. For cadet drivers, the 2022 CRG Black Mirror is already logging positive results to start the new season. This chassis will be making big waves in 2022. Longtime CRG drivers will be happy to know that the CRG Road Rebel, the standard in quality and performance, is still available. With 4-cycle racing enjoying consistent growth in North America, CRG's FS4 chassis is the ideal choice for racers in brakes and Stratton competition. From pure racing to karting entertainment, many tracks, both indoor and outdoor, have made the switch to the CRG Centurion rental kart line. 5 different models for both gas-powered or electric engines can fit any track's needs for a new rental kart fleet. CRG Nordam has a full inventory of rental karts available for new and existing facilities. For more information on the CRG product line, head to www.kartcrg.com, and to inquire about a North American dealer near you, please email us at info@kartcrg-nordam.com. Cometic Gasket is a leading worldwide supplier of gaskets and engine sealing solutions for karting, automotive performance, power sports, original equipment, and the remanufactured engine industries. Cometic karting gaskets are available as OE replacement top-end kits or as individual gaskets and seals. Just like competitive karters, Cometic can operate on the fly and has the unique capability to customize any gasket to meet specific engine requirements and clearances. All of Cometic's fiber materials are asbestos-free and do not require any additional sealants. Viton oil ring cylinder head seals are used in each 2-cycle kit, and Cometic's 4-cycle engine kits feature only the most advanced multi-layer steel head gaskets. Cometic can tailor to engine builder-specific needs through bulk ordering and packaging flexibility. Cometic gaskets are must-haves for championship-winning teams across multiple disciplines of both professional and amateur motorsports. Cometic Gasket, sealing championships since 1989. Right in the middle of our 53rd edition of our OutLap Preview podcast, David Cole, myself, Rob Howden, talking about the USPKS opener for 2023. It's been a hot topic over the first couple of months. Everybody excited about getting down to this event. Not quite 300 pre-entries, but knowing with the way that Trackside have gone, I would not be surprised to see over 300, pushing 310 before we're all said and done. David, let's jump into the 2 junior categories here, X30 and KA100. We'll start with junior. 30 entries all told. Caleb Gaffera, of course, the champion last year, winning a bunch of races on the season. He is part of the group that is not there. In fact, all the winners from last year are not running in the field, which is interesting. Grada and Gaffera both moving up. Brinkman, is Cameron still junior?
No, he isn't. Yeah, so I wrote that incorrect.
Okay. I'm going to say I thought Brinkman was
missed
still junior.
that. Yeah, Brinkman is the only returning winner coming back. So
there you go.
So there, bullseyes on him.
Well, listen, he was right in the thick of things down at the SCUSA Winter Series. So I have no doubt in my mind that Brinkman's going to be a driver to watch on that Lando kart because he was really good, mixed it up, had elbows up. I think he'll be part of the fight for sure.
Yeah, he was he came in late on the season, didn't do a lot of the winter racing, and really picked things up in the summer season before he went back to school and got football and basketball and did all that. But yeah, I would consider Brinkman as among the top contenders coming into the weekend, along with Stephen Miller, who's been a fast driver especially at the Florida tracks.
I think you got to put the primary focus though on Miller for sure, but on Ernesto Rivera.
That's where I was going. I was going to go next. Yeah.
Those two guys were battling head to head, like literally back and forth. They were the guys to beat in the Winter Series for sure.
Yeah. You got to remember, I haven't seen any of these guys since Supernats. So I'm relying on you.
It's because you were on the couch when Nate and I were actually busy working in January and February. That's what it was.
No, I was on the bench coaching. Come on now. Get it right.
Oh, that's right. That's true. Still on the
couch. Yeah. So, you got a good mixture, Brinkman from Mike Doty Racing. You got Miller from Chad Dawkins Racing. You got Ernesto Rivera from Rollison Performance Group, throwing Teddy Musella as well from RPG. Max Taylor as well. So, RPG is coming back. It was led by Caleb Gaffaro last year, picking up the 5 different victories in 8 rounds of racing in X30 Junior alone. So, they know they have the pace. They were right there with them throughout the season, especially towards the end of last year. And I would expect to see them trying to lead the charge again as well. Not to mention Enzo Vidmontien making his second sophomore season in the junior ranks. Again, towards the end of the season, started to see him pick up the pace and did really well. I think he picked up a victory at Winter Series, correct?
Yeah, definitely dialing things in. Did he get a win?
I thought he got a win, at least podium finishes. I know that.
Top of my head, I can't. It's just not there right now. I'm thinking about something else. And one of the drivers who was able to get on the podium, I guess we expect Enzo to be there all the time, right? So Jackson Wolney was able to get his first podium finish as well in the Winter Series. So it was kind of a deal where you saw another driver come into the fight. So that's kind of when that was in the front of my mind. A couple of quick rookies too, David, in Ty Fisher and Oliver Weldon. Oliver, who won the Mini Swift champion on the Winter Series last year, really stepped up this year, was in the fight, and he's going to be a guy you're going to be watching up front throughout the weekend too. Yeah,
he'll be doing double duty among the few that are going to be doing both. Really moved up to the junior ranks last year towards the end in the KAA 100 junior ranks, and so I haven't seen him race X30 junior yet. I believe he did at the Winter Series, so get to see him do that. Other drivers to kind of watch: John Antonino on the Tesoro Raceworks CRG, Diego Ardiles as well under the RPG tent. I think he just moved there at the start of the season as well. So kind of moving in with that. So, and then Leonardo Scorpioni, another driver, did really well at the SCUSA Winter Series as well. So another Florida driver that you got to expect will be fast at the Orlando racetrack.
Yeah, trying to keep that momentum up, right, from what they were able to do in January and February. The other one would be Christian Cameron, the West Coast from Sonoma, running for PSL Karting. He's been getting a feel for the Red Army machine. We'll see if Cameron's able to dial things in as well. For me, Dave, one of the exciting things as well, when we go to the KA 100 junior class, is the 54 drivers, number one. Again, as you said, I think you're correct on this one, though. No winners from last year in the field. So it's going to be.
I screwed up, Miller.
Jesus, Cole.
Hey, when you're on lack of sleep and busy, you sometimes miss the details.
Let's be real. We're knocking out 3 podcasts. We've got another one tonight. We're on the throttle right now for sure. Stephen Miller. You almost forgot Stephen Miller.
No. I did. Oh, I did forget Stephen Miller.
You did forget
on the script.
You're on the script. Hey, listen, hard to forget, to be honest, because what a great start to the season it's been for Stephen Miller. We saw how good he was at the Winter Series. But again, 55 drivers. There is a stacked field. And a bunch of good rookies coming up as well, David.
Yeah, a good mixture. Again, a lot of names we've already talked about with Miller, Rivera, Enzo Vidmontien, Oliver Weldon. As I said, he moved up last year. So really, this is his first full season. Max Taylor. So again, there are a good number of drivers that are doing both double duty, and a lot of them are fast drivers. Speaking with Cameron Brinkman, going to be pulling double duty as well. I don't see I thought PSL driver was going to do it. No, he's not.
You mentioned Antonino, so he's doing both as well. But no,
he's doing both as well. Yeah.
No, Christian Cameron looks like he's focusing just on the X30 junior class.
Yep. So, and again, a lot of drivers that we don't know a lot about, but again, a lot of drivers that are kind of on the cusp of being at the front or towards the front. We know we've seen Reagan Seville on the GFC do really well in 4-cycle competition. We just quite haven't seen that transition in the KA 100 junior rank. So we'll see if this year is his year to kind of move up and get up there. Graham Trammell is another driver we've seen we saw at Challenge in America's opener be kind of in the mix there. So the Texas driver, I believe he grew up in Oregon or was living in Oregon. So now a Texas driver. Another Texas driver that kind of grabbed his first top 5 last weekend, David Ybarra on the CRG. So another name, Austin Olds. We saw him last weekend as well. He was in the top 10 mix. Who are some other names, Rob, that you
let's scroll down. You had mentioned a couple of the rookie drivers, like a Turner Brown for sure. A driver we've talked about a lot over the last couple of years, Salvador Della Vecchia, Scorpio. We already mentioned a Scorpione, but you got Ty Fisher running with Speed Concepts Racing on the TB Kart. He'll be a guy to watch, I think. Alex Mercado, we've seen him factor in a race here and there. I'm scrolling down here to find out if I missed.
Yeah, on those rookies, Rob, Della Vecchia won in Mini last year at this race, and then who else won in Orlando? Tyler Roberts. So both those drivers who won in Mini in Orlando last year at USPKS are moving up into K100 this year.
A little bit of confidence coming in, right?
Well, yeah, you've won in Mini, so it's just getting that adjustment over to the full-size kart. I don't think we've seen Tyler Roberts yet this season. I don't think he did SCUSA Winter Series, so I assume doing some testing at home.
I think they were staying at home, yeah.
Yeah, exactly so we'll see if get adjusted to that full-size kart and be able to mix it up. Again, a big field and a lot of drivers in it.
How about an Eli Warren, former EKN Driver of the Month as well?
Yeah, Eli, he was one of those drivers just racing for the Cup Karts North America Spring Nationals victory, I think, in the junior category. Just missed out on a victory. So, yeah, it would be good to – Eli's done kind of both. Route 66 last year, I think he was able to win both in 4-cycle and 2-cycle categories. So, he's just kind of – in 2-cycle side, he's just been kind of on the cusp of being right there and in the hunt. So, we'll see if this weekend is his.
Good for me, a positive to see 25 drivers in the KA 100 Master Class. And this is an adjustment from the USPKS from last year. We talked about them bringing in the Pro Shifter category. They've also made the move from the X30 to the KA for the Masters drivers. So last year's champion, Danilo Ramalho, he got 3 wins. Renato Jador-Davy, Mario Barrios, Chris Wareheim with victories as well. But we won't see Ramalho. We won't see Roberts. We won't see Danny Robertson. Not going to see RJD either from the top 10. It'll be a different field. Some of the drivers maybe just not about the KA, although 25 drivers is a pretty good field, David.
Yeah, a good mixture. Again, yeah, we are going to miss a couple of those drivers that were, again, a former champion and a number of different race winners. But we do have a number of drivers that are coming back that were in the field last year. I think I added a total of 9 drivers. If my math did me, no, I can't do my math right now. 11. Let's go with 11. I like that number better. It's Darrell Waltrip, baby. So 11 drivers who raced the X30 Master category last year that are coming back and racing this weekend in the new KA 100 Master class. Including Mario Barrios, former champion Scott Kopp, former champion Lorenzo Mardan, race winners Miguel Mir, the Carapoletti brothers, Nicky Coella, Jake Fetter, Robert Mayer, Martin Stone, Vegas winner,
and Super Nationals winner,
and former champion Christian Vomier as well too. So.
Man, there's a good field of drivers here. David Pregandi's coming in as well. We'll see David Pregandi in the show.
Yeah, we normally see him at the Challenge, both doing Rock Master and Master 100cc. He has been out of the country, so he's making his way back home into the States and circled this one as his first race on the season, racing with Speed Sports team out of the Speed Sports Racing Park. But another name making his way back to USPKS competition, Tommy Anderson. We've seen him win WKA championships in the past and in tag competition. Now able to race in the master category, so he's kind of following the Scott Kopp route. of getting back into the sport again behind the wheel. And so see how Tommy's able to shake off the rust of not being behind the wheel for a number of months.
Now, he's going to be one of the older guys. Let me actually go through to see if he's actually the oldest guy in the field. I think no, he's not.
Carapoletti's pretty old.
Carapoletti in 64. I'm going 66 for Tim Meyer. And that's a guy that can win any race he gets into. Tim Meyer for sure. Right?
Yeah, Tim Meyer is he's always been one of the quicker drivers on the West Coast, and so making the trek from California to the USPKS event. Again, that's something we've talked about. USPKS was one of the largest master classes throughout the country. And so it's certainly got the attention of drivers to be part of the program. Both it's bringing up some regional racers that are help building up the entry total, but also, as you said, Tim Meyer, a big master winner on the West Coast at Challenge and other programs as well.
Yeah, you're missing one guy we haven't got to yet.
Yeah, you got to save the best for last.
I'm waiting. This is pretty good. This is cool.
It's pretty exciting. We have a 2-time Rotax Grand Finals winner in the KA100 Master Field, Christophe Adams from Belgium, going to be in the field racing on a Sodi kart. He's been a long-time Sodi kart driver. Very notable in terms of the 2013 Rotax Grand Finals. A big friend of Mike Jones.
Little dust up.
A little dust up. But he, you mentioned he is one of the older drivers in the field.
57. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you look at that, you got drivers that are just now turning 30, but also drivers who are in their 50s or 60s.
Yeah, exactly that. Good field, though. Great to see 25 drivers in this KA100 Master Class. Obviously, we rocked it at the Super Nationals last year, and I want to see this thing to continue. There's a lot of great regional programs that are picking up this Masters class. I just think the KA100 is so good for Masters drivers. It's also great for drivers who maybe want to go a bit quicker coming out of the 206 class. So, all in all, good to see 25 drivers. The juniors are very strong as well. 54 in KA100 junior. 30 in the X30 Junior. Folks, one more break, and we'll come back and wrap things up. We'll talk about Mini Swift and Micro Swift here on the EKN OutLap.
You want the best? You just got to roll with the best. Streeter Superstands. This is Jeff Wessel from StreeterSuperstands.com. You wouldn't put subpar parts on your racing cart, so why put that cherished ride of yours on anything but karting's #1 lifts and stands, Streeter Superstands. Streeter is the original and genuine manufacturer of the second-to-none Bigfoot rolling stands, stackers, uprights, and industry-leading Superlift. We also manufacture and sell the largest and always growing roster of trailer and shop accessories like tire, engine and jug racks, cabinets, spray can trays, bead breakers, and tons more to outfit any size trailer, team, and budget. Streeter Superstands has over 30 continuous years of experience. We're kart racers just like you and know that the Streeter name represents the absolute best in stands, lifts, and accessories for karting enthusiasts worldwide. Durability, affordability, unmatched quality, and customer service, that's what sets us apart from the rest. Check us out now at StreeterSuperstands.com. Roll with the best, StreeterSuperstands.com.
In racing, experience is priceless. Franklin Motorsports is a leader in the karting industry with over 50 years of combined karting experience, and we can provide you with everything you need to go racing. With a large online product selection, select track support events, and a wide variety of shop services, Franklin Motorsports is your complete karting source. Check out our online store at www.franklinkart.com, where all our products are just a mouse click away. We're constantly adding to the growing product selection on the online store, and we ship daily to ensure products get to you quickly. We specialize in IAME engines, tilt seats, ceramic products, driveline branded products, Briggs & Stratton engines, OTK products, and of course, the championship-winning Merlin chassis. In our online store, you'll find a variety of items to fill your karting needs. Franklin Motorsports is also known for our wide variety of services and is home to Innovative Engine Works by FMS, our in-house engine service department. Frame straightening, kart prep, and dyno testing are all services offered regularly at Franklin Motorsports. For all things karting, visit franklinkart.com. Acceleration Kart Racing is your first and only stop on the internet for karts, parts, and the safety gear you need to get you on the track. Visit shopakr.com for a great selection of karting equipment on a user-friendly website. Acceleration Kart Racing has aligned itself with many of the top manufacturers and distributors in the sport to ensure all the latest equipment is available to you, the racer. With over 20 years in business and customer support available 6 days a week, you can be confident about getting the right parts at the right price when you need them. Be sure to visit shopakr.com today or stop by their headquarters in Las Vegas. Make sure to follow Acceleration Kart Racing on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for the latest specials and new arrivals. All right, let's wrap up this edition of the EKN OutLap as we preview this coming weekend's USPKS opener, the Southern Grand Prix at Orlando Kart Center. What is the number, David? It's the 11th, 12th, 13th, right? No, 10th, 11th, 12th.
10, 11, 12, yep.
10, 11, 12. It is March the 8th right now, Wednesday. Let's jump into the Mini Swift category. 46 entries in total. Keelan Harvick was the champion last year. He won 5 times. Other victories going to Salvador Della Vecchia, Tyler Roberts, and Isaac Malkit. As we get, though, David, top 8 drivers from the Micro Swift category last year are moving up. So there is a stacked rookie field in the Mini Swift class this year.
It is. That's something we noted when we got into the SCUSA Winter Series program as well. So this field of Mini Swift drivers in the 2023 season are a lot younger than what we saw last year, but we also saw a number of drivers moving up. So that's what we have. You get the ebbs and flows of this category of drivers graduating up and drivers coming up from the lower ranks as well. So so no former winners in this field. I can confirm that because we talked about Della Vecchia, Roberts moving up. Got no Keelan Harvick in the category this weekend. Maybe we'll see him later on in the season, but he's focused on racing in Europe right now. Just actually finished 5th at the WSK Supermaster Series event in Sarno, Italy. So, and then also Isaac Malkit, he graduated up to the junior ranks as well too.
So let's have a look at some of the drivers, David. Do you want to go some of the guys first, or you want to go to rookies? Which way do you want to play this right now?
Let's look at some of the names that are kind of coming back and notable ones that we could see being up front. Obviously, the first one is Lucas Palacio. He picked up 3 victories at the SCUSA Winter Series program. He's one that's going to be up front. Tristan Murphy as well, going to be one to watch. Michael McGoy, Super Nationals winner with Ryan Perry Motorsports aboard the Parolin.
Tovo brothers.
Those are some names, right? And then the Tovo brothers as well too. So that would probably be
Jackson.
About the top 5 if I were to look at the field of those returning. Maybe throw in Max Christie as the sixth man on the bench. Kind of again, drivers with experience and experience running up front in this category.
But then you've got the rookie crop. You got Benja Fernandez. You got Jackson Gibson as well, who was a Super Nationals winner last year in the micro class. You got Cameron Marsha, who's run up front, David. Nicholas Orbezo. How about the driver really who dominated the Winter Series to a certain extent in the micro category, go up to mini, Antonio Pizzonia Nito as well. Pole sitter from the Super Nats. This kid's got a lot of speed running for Orsalon Racing.
Yeah, unique. And we saw that with Alessandro Truchot, running the micro division at SCUSA Winter Series and then boom, moving up into mini right after that. So maybe he's going to follow suit with that. You look at Ashton Woon, who won the micro championship last year, did a little bit of mini racing as well too. So he should be able to be up front. I know he already picked up a top 5 on the season as well. Rocco Simone, he won the micro race last year at Orlando along with Marco Samut. So those are 2 race winners from Orlando moving up into the Mini Swift category this year.
It's actually Marco Samut. I asked his dad.
I know he goes both, and he said he doesn't care. I always forget which way you say it. So,
Royce Vega, another driver I think to watch for sure for Team Bannock. A lot of speed for
he
Royce,
came on
right?
strong late in the micro division last year, and so I'm not sure I don't think he did the Winter Series at all. So this could be his mini debut.
Hudson Erlin, I think another driver could be up in the fight. This is just a lot of good drivers. David, obviously the first round of the series, you're going to get a really good feel for who's going to run up front. Those top 10 drivers who kind of work their way to the front at Orlando, probably the guys you're going to be talking about for a majority of the week of the year.
Yeah, and again, not everything's going to be relying on qualifying because you got the 3 heat races. You got 36 laps of racing to do on Saturday. So, if you qualify 7th, you're able to race your kind of ways, keep yourself up and be there. So it'll be interesting to see how drivers react to that, because a lot of these drivers aren't used to that. This is almost like Supernats format where you got to get those 3 heat races in and then you set up for the main event. And again, some drivers excel a little bit better at that than they do going 2 rounds on a weekend. So
that's true.
You will see how some of these young drivers react to that format. And again, keeping your head on and keeping the wheel straight and hitting all your marks throughout the weekend.
30 drivers in the micro Swift category. Last year's champion Ashton Woon. David already mentioned the fact that he'd moved forward along with Samet, Simone, Vega, or Bezo all moving up. We mentioned that the top 8 from last year's micro Swift championship moving up into the mini category. So really, we're going to have brand new winners here this year in micro, and it's pretty easy to kind of focus on 7 drivers because 7, David, of the top 10 from the SCUSA Winter Series are in this field. These are drivers that have already got a successful run in the winter program, locked and loaded. They roll into March here, mid-March, and are getting ready to go at it. Top 7 from the SCUSA Winter Series. Definitely guys to watch out of the gate.
Yeah, these are all names I know of, but I haven't seen them because I wasn't down there. Maxwell Macha, the SLA racing driver. He's pretty much the top driver from the SCUSA Winter Series that'll be in the field with his name the champion just moved up to mini. Antonio
Pizzonianito.
Yeah, so he moved
Maxwell
up.
Won the last race, I think. Yeah.
So yeah, and then so you also have Josh Bergman, Santiago Diaz, De La Vega Torres.
Well done.
I think I said that correctly. Enzo Di Gennaro, Juan Diego Garcia. No, I don't. Garcias, Parker Ives, and Colton. I can't say that.
I love it. You haven't been to Schneegenberg.
If I hear it, see, I didn't listen to you guys either while you were down there, so that's part of the problem too.
Hey, another driver kind of dialed things in and finally got on the podium. And David, you remember this name to a certain extent, it was Pasha Ali. So Pasha on the Paralyn USA machine really kind of dialed things in and really was in the fight in the top 5 all winter in the winter series, but had got DQ'd at one point for a missing chain guard, I believe it was, and then had a mechanical in one of the races. It was just a lot of bad luck for Pasha Ali, finally able to get through to get that podium. So definitely one to watch here for sure. Keep going.
I was just say Luke Giulio, yeah, he's been good at the Briggs stuff. He's picked up a number of wins at Cup Karts, so Agreed. Watch for him.
Yeah, 100%.
I was going to throw 2 more.
Let me do one. I'll go one. You do one. Only because we've been watching. I've seen it on Facebook. Watch what he's been doing in the kid kart categories. But Camden Clay will be running as well. Driver to Panama Beach, Florida, is going to run with Trinity Karting Group.
That was one of mine because I was going to say my favorite kid karter. I remember watching him at Cup Karts North America Grand Nationals. And then the other one was Paxton Romero. As you mentioned, drivers picking up podiums. He just picked up a podium at Challenge in the Americas. So the Colorado driver coming out, going back-to-back weekends along with me.
Yeah, there you go. Throwing a couple of extra guys in there for you folks in the Micro Swift category. But again, when we get back next week and we're doing the debrief race report podcast, we'll know exactly which driver stepped up. All told, David, it's going to be a good weekend for you. You're going to have good weather for you and the other 300 drivers that are there. Teams and families getting this USPKS program off to a good start. Sunday, all important. Just main events on the Sunday, so it should be exciting to see these drivers go after that one race win, which I know you like.
Yeah, be sure to follow us. Follow me really all weekend long.
Just do.
Follow EKN all weekend long as we bring you the 2023 United States Pro Kart Series Southern Grand Prix. We will be streaming the audio for those who aren't available to grab the Kart Chaser feed. So you can catch it at ekartingnews.com/live or ekartingnews.com/radio, or pick it up on the EKN Radio app as well. I know we had a number of people listening in from the Challenge in Americas on the EKN Radio app, so that was good. And again, follow on social media platforms and follow the hashtags EKN at USPKS and hashtag Southern GP.
There you go, folks. Wrapping things up for this edition of the EKN OutLap. It's edition number 53, I believe it is. And again, our preview podcast, David will be rolling out tomorrow, Dave. Yeah, right? morning flight?
Tomorrow evening. Yep.
Tomorrow night. All right. Getting trackside. Be ready to go for a Friday, Saturday, Sunday run. Should be fun to see how things all play. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of action at the Orlando Kart Center over the next 4 weeks. So we'll be there at all, essentially almost everything. So we look forward to it, folks. Thank you so much for tuning into this edition of the OutLap. Follow David Cole's coverage throughout the weekend as the USPK is finally getting things underway at the Orlando Kart Center. It is the Southern Grand Prix. And again, you can stream it on ekartingnews.com/live or on the EKN Radio Network app. Thank you so much for tuning in, folks. On behalf of David Cole, my name's Rob Howden.